Welcome, everybody. It is Mama Hard, and it has been just a little while since we had our last conversation. Um, and it was kind of like a deep one, but I just want to, just throw this out here. September is Suicide Awareness Month. So if you know someone, if you've heard someone contemplating, please reach out to them, encourage them to get help. There is suicide hotlines. You can look them up. I don't know if I was able to get it on my feed here, but while I'm not talking about suicide and I am not a suicide counselor, I am a life coach that helps people get perspective. And today I was talking to someone who I know has mentioned that they have spoken of that they have contemplated suicide. And when I said something in this conversation, they kind of chuckled and laughed, oh yeah, and kind of pushed it off. I just want you to know, take all of that very seriously, and I do. But I'm here not to just talk about suicide, but if you do hear someone, please reach out to them. It's very important. But I've been spending some time with some of my good friends who are many years older than I am, and one of the biggest conversations is the need for connection. And I just want to let you know, if there's somebody that's much older than you and you've been thinking about them, just go visit them or give them a call. Reach out to them. I know that as I get older, maybe I become less relevant, and I want you to know that we can glean so much wisdom from those of years above us. So I am not so learned that I can't receive from others, and so I love to spend time with really people who have lived longer than me, gone around the sun longer. So if there's someone that you think of, maybe go visit them and connect with them. But and if it's something that you just can't do, give them a call, write them a letter. I gotta tell you, the elders really do appreciate the old-fashioned snail mail, like the old ways. A lot of them don't have cell phones. Grandma Susie, I know, has never even maybe I know she's looked at a computer, but that's not in her experience. And when I bring my phone out to take pictures of us or whatever, she just gets very surprised at what that is. But I know she loves to get cards and connection. So I just want to throw that out there for you. And the other part of connection is, are you connecting to yourself? I believe that God says to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and then to love others as you love yourself. You are not going to be able to love anyone else if you do not know how to love yourself. And when I mean self-love, it's not this woo-woo thing. It's really real. Being able to be so honest with myself, yourself, that I can look at my flaws and I can love those things about me, because I am not a perfect person. There's not one living human that's perfect. So I've learned to allow those flaws of mine to be part of my love experience, to really wrap myself around that and love those things. And if there are things that I desire to change, the only way I'm able to change anything is if I identify them, if I look into them. And there might be some things that, while someone might think it's a flaw when they see me, I'm the only real person that's going to be able to say if it's a flaw or not for myself. We can get so much rejection from the world outside, the external world. Sometimes our families can be the most critical because they know us the most, or they've been around us the longest. if anyone is aware, there's no uber functional family because there's always something going on. There's always personal conflicts with self and others. And well, I'm just saying I have a really amazing family. I'm just saying that there's nothing perfect. My children had to deal with what divorced families experience. So while I'm been in an amazing relationship the last 25 years, thank goodness, there's still stuff. And if you have a hard time loving yourself, then you are going to really have a difficult time really accepting love from others. So I just want to encourage you to look inward and realize that God made you so amazing and so unique, and start actually appreciating the uniqueness about yourself. And if there are things that you need to change, I know several of you follow me because of the drastic weight loss that I've been able to pursue over the 13 years. So let's say while people go, it's drastic, it took 13 years. So please, it's not that stinking drastic. But if there's weight loss, then identify, everyone knows what they've got going on. It's just we've got to be the ones that step in to change those things. So if it's weight loss, if it's relationships that you feel a disconnection, start to create that conversation in yourself. Where have you disconnected to yourself that you have a difficult time connecting to someone else? There's a scripture, well, there's lots of scriptures, but about love. And some of the hardest relationships are probably in the dynamics of family, the family and the external families outside of that. And for me, there have been relationships through the years that I've had to actually remove myself from. Not that I ever stopped loving them, but I realize how unhealthy they are for me, and for my best self moving forward. I've had to disconnect. But for the most part, as the scripture says, if it were to be at peace with everyone, that really is my goal. But the person I need to be at most peace with is myself. And when I can truly have a deep love for myself, and not a weird one, but just to accept who I am, and then I'm able to love those people who God brings into my circle, into my life. So while I've gone through a lot of changes, I have friends that I've had for well over 40, 50 years that are still connected with me. So I can make new friends, but I also keep the old. Isn't that make new friends and keep the old? Blah, blah. I think it's a Girl Scout song, but there's something about keeping connection. And in this fast-paced, crazy life, the person that you really need to kind of maintain a connection is yourself. Are you honoring yourself? Are you listening to the inner voice inside of you, the little girl who's struggling, the little boy who is wanting to make change, wanting to have connection, and yet feel really helpless? Start turning that around and start identifying the places inside of you that you have stopped honoring, that you stopped listening to. And then when you peel back some of those areas, learn to love those things. What is that? Accept the things I can't change and change the things I can. It's some kind of prayer thing. Identify those things. Let's get real. Let's get raw. Let's get remove some of this outer stuff that really isn't serving you. And some of that is expectations on others. If others are not fulfilling some of your expectations, you might have some deeper issues in accepting yourself. Wow, this has got 9 minutes. I hope you guys can listen to me. Anyway, start to love yourself. And when you have been able to pour through you and love on you, you're able to actually love on others. So LOVE, listen, open, be vulnerable, and expect change. And it's Mama Heart. Mwah.